Have we got anybody on? Let me just go into comments. Good afternoon, Carl, Facebook user. Oof. I've been running and tearing about again like a blow-ass fly this morning. Just actually finished a little tiny recording for of the chillis, but I don't think I can put it on here. I might have to open my phone up like this. Who else we got on? Anybody? We've got Carl. He's obviously got no better to do. Hey, there's actually, I tell you what, there's actually quite a few people walking up and down the street outside. It seems people are getting fed up with the lockdown. I can see, just out the window, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people just up at the road, like going like this. So I think people have got a tick on it. Alan Ashley's joining us, I hope, and Foxy with the COVID cut. No, that's a bit shit. My battery's flat. I think my batteries are flat. My batteries are flat. Fuck. Let me get a little while to charge it. I'm on here. Oh dear. I'm back. I don't think it can pass through on these. Probably not, but I'll get enough for a pull out of it anyway. Who else we got on? I'm never doing it again, it says. There's no wrong with a COVID cut. I'll wear mine all the time. Mike Winterton, howdy doody. Somebody's put down here, Facebook user, it's horrendous, Les. Our shop has never been as busy. I don't know who Facebook user is and what shop you've got. The bike shop's open and Bargain Boozer's open. Bargain Boozer's never shut, like, for some reason they class that as essential. I think they've said on that people have stopped going to pubs because obviously it's gathering, like, innit? And so off licenses are doing a tremendous sales at the minute because people are getting pissed in the house instead. Shit, that ain't. I don't know if it will pass through. Just saying weak battery. How it's charging now? I'll get 20 seconds. Let me have a quick slurp. It's quite fresh, this one. I've only made it like 10 minutes ago. Toby, now then. Put Seal's mask back on. This is his anti-COVID mask. Come on, you fat bastard. If anybody's wanting to, just as a matter of interest, I've got a GoFundMe page up at the minute. Not for me, like, for these. These are protective face masks for key workers and, you know, doctors and stuff like that, nurses. And it basically, it's not one that I've designed, it's one that I got off somebody, the actual design itself. So it basically goes like that. So that if people are coughing in your face, you're not getting droplets and things. It's also got that little shield at the top, so it's not going to, like, come over your head and drop down behind the mask. You know what I mean? So they're really good. So we're producing them on the 3D printers when they're not actually printing people's orders. But I'm limited to how many of these I can do because of the speed. To do 3, I can do 3 at once on the machine, and it takes, like, I think it's about 13 or 14 hours to print 3. So it's pretty slow going. And then of course you've got to spend time picking all the support off it because it's got a lot of support around it to hold it up. So anyway, we're doing that. I'll just show you the GoFundMe page just in case anybody wants to donate, which is that one. Just Giving. All the money that comes in is being spent on the materials, My time is free. I'm using the machines for free. All that money is for is to buy the plastic and the visors and the elastic that goes with it. And we're giving the masks to anybody that wants them. But the thing is, it's been a bit disappointing, really, because you'd think that, I mean, you see on news where everybody's saying, oh, we've got no PPE, we've got none of this. I've asked my own doctors, the one that I've been going to for years, because it's quite a big doctor. They have a number of doctors in there, and they have different clinics and things. It's a big building. It's like a mini hospital, really. So I wrote to them. I said, do you want any of these face masks? You know, I've got the facility to do it, kind of thing. And anyway, they wrote back and said, oh, thanks very much, but no, we're all right, thanks. We've got plenty. All right, fair enough. So then I thought, well, what I'll do then, because I'm in isolation as well, so I can't go out to people. I thought, well, I'll get in touch with the doctor's surgery at the bottom of the road here, because there's one at the bottom of the road, and there's also one at the top of the road. So I wrote to both of them, saying, we've got these masks. I'm on your dark road if you want any. You know, you can have them, kind of thing. Not even bothered replying. Not even bothered replying. Which is a bit disheartening, isn't it, when you consider the people that's not doing the replying and not the people that's going to be going out to see people and getting spat on. So it's kind of a little bit. I think if I asking the people that were actually going to be wearing the things, they would be appreciating it. But the people that's reading the emails are not appreciating it because they're not the one on the front line, are they? So I don't know if that's helped to do it, but it's a bit disheartening in that respect. But I had hello from Sheboygan. I had a little chat with Gaz Roundtree the other day, who's like that is also doing these, and this is his file, if you like. And he says that the care homes are desperately needing it. So I'll get in touch with some local care homes and send them. Somebody will want them, I'm sure, absolutely sure. Anyway, just basically, I'm waiting for some proper elastic. The time come, it's the only bit that's not come. We've got obviously the plastic, and we've got the sheets for the visor. So I'm waiting for the black elastic, proper stuff to come. At the minute, I'm using an elastic band just to demonstrate it. Still works. Still works. It keeps sealed nice and clear. Oh, so he's not going to get no wrong with him. Let's have a look what we've got in here. Dale Milne. Who's Dale Milne? Oh, I'll scroll up these words because I can't read it and talk. It's me, Julie, she says. It's me, Julie. Oh, Julie. Craig Hunter, afternoon. Donna Blakely. Mike Winterton. Nathan Drake. I already took you 50 quid, but my name didn't come up. 50 quid! That's soft. Alan Ashley, thank you very much, Alan. I don't know how their system works. It's beyond me. Paul Bancroft, would it be possible to make a jam roly-poly in the future? Is that a real jam roly-poly? Or you mean in juice? Because I can make a jam roly-poly and all. Get in touch with the ambulance service if you can, Les. I mean, I'm limited to, like I said, I'm limited to how many I can do anyway. So it's not millions and millions of them. But I did actually read an article the other day where there's a bloke who has offered to produce 10,000. I think it was 10,000. Might even have been 100,000. I'm not sure how many notes were in it, but it were 1,000. It were like 10,000 or 100,000 masks of some description. He's been in touch with all the different people, and they're just not interested in it. Just absolutely not interested. And yet you see on telly, on news, that they're desperate for PPE. But how can they be desperate for PPE for turning people down and saying, no, I'm all right, cop? It's a little bit confusing, isn't it? What we're all actually waiting for is a antivirus or a jab, isn't it? Right. Let me get it because they're just going to keep ringing and ringing and ringing. You know what happens? If somebody rings, then you don't get it, then they ring again, then somebody else rings. Hello, who's coming? Hi, Martin. Yes, you? Yeah? I'm just doing a live video at the minute. It's going to be, well, I've only started at past, and it's usually about an hour and 15-ish. So probably about, come about 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. All right, then. See you later. Bye, then. Regular customer, Martin, wanted to come for some stuff. You always remember when I'm on a bleeding video, don't I? Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, we're on about the jab. I forgot the bloody name of it now. Vaccine. Get that word out then. Vaccine. That's what we really need now, isn't it? Because this social distancing, it's not to stop you from getting it. It's not to stop people from dying. It's to stop everybody getting it at once. That's what it's about. It's not actually about stopping you from getting it. We're all going to get it. I said that from the beginning, and we're all going to get it. It's out the bottle. The genie is out. You can't put the genie back. The only thing you can do is get a little needle to slap the genie in the face. So when the vaccine comes, eventually, which is going to take a long time, I mean, bearing in mind that the common cold is a virus and they've never ever found one, and that's because it keeps changing. So every time it comes back, it's different. So the last year's don't work. This looks like it's going to be a little bit like that because it's already mutated, isn't it? Which is what I said again. They ought to have employed me really to tell them what to do, didn't they? Really? Jesus Christ, it's evolved. It's life. It's like every other kind of life. It evolves, but a virus evolves much quicker because it's got a shorter lifespan, like, isn't it? So it's all speeded up. But when they do get a vaccine, it's not necessarily going to be a vaccine that's going to stop you from getting it. What it might do, or likely to do, is that when you get it, you'll only get pneumonia, as an example, rather than getting a deadly pneumonia. So I think there's a lot of that to do as well. And there's a lot of reports coming out that people that have had it are still getting it again anyway, because it's just your body don't create enough antibodies to it, basically. It hasn't got time. But at least if everybody has a jab, when they do get it, your body is ready for it. Do you know, so it can pounce on it straight away rather than having to build it up. Because by the time it's built up, it spreads through your life, doesn't it? So, but it's going to be a long time, unfortunately. But like I said at the very outset, we're all going to get it. It's just you're either going to survive it or no. So it's awful. But there's still a lot of people now. I've noticed for the last 3 weeks. Well, I've been coming here the last 3 weeks. The streets have been pretty much empty, hasn't it? But now I've noticed that people are starting to come out again. I think they're getting bored with stopping in, which is what the government said would happen, or could happen if they did it too early. But at least it's slowing the trickle of people into the hospital, which is what it's really about. It's so that the NHS is not overwhelmed all at once, and then a lot of people are going to die because there ain't going to be enough treatment. So you need a steady trickle of people. So I reckon what we're going to do, you've got this list of people who are at risk, and they've got like a sliding scale of risk. So you've got people who have got no immunity, like people on cancer treatments and stuff like that up here. And then you'll have like diabetics, and then you'll have something else below that, and it goes down that list. I think what they'll do when they start relaxing it is they'll relax it from the bottom up. Do you know what I mean? To sort of release so many new people back out into the environment so that they catch it. Some of them go to hospital, some of them are all right. When that's done, go up to the next tier. So right, if you've got diabetes, you no longer need to self-isolate. You can get back to work, and then all the diabetics will get it. But there'll be just enough so that the hospitals can cope. And then they'll move it up again another notch to release another flood of people. So I think that's how they're going to manage it. Personally, that's how I think how they're going to manage it. It's the only way to do it, really, isn't it? Can you ship nets to Sheboygan? Yes, of course we can. Alan Ash is saying that one I was telling you about, it's a plastic injection film, so it could have been 100,000 a day. And it was near him in Essex. And that's the guy that they've basically said, up you. They don't meet their criteria. Well, I'm sure that the people on the front line are not bothered if it makes your fucking criteria. It's better than not having in it. You know what I mean? It's a bit like when they say vaping, it's not safe. Well, it's safer than smoking. So, you know, it's a lesser of two evils, isn't it? If you don't want to have anything to do with nicotine, don't vape, don't smoke. End of. But if you do smoke, change to vaping, and it's 97% safer. That's 3% left. It's a scale thing, isn't it? Oh, I've got, just to let you know, we might have some orchid people on this video today, because this is the first time I am actually, because I don't know if you know, but I've got, as you know, I've grown orchids all my life, and I used to sell orchids, and I have an orchid channel on YouTube, which is Orchid Species. If you go and look at Orchid Species, I show you how to pot stuff and how to do it in lab and all that kind of stuff. But I haven't put a video up there for 5 years because that's when I shut that business. It shut for all sorts of complicated reasons. But anyway, if you enter, there's actually a little description of what went on. But today, for the first time, I've included this live video onto the orchid channel. So there'll be no doubt some of the people that's looking are from that orchid channel. They're saying, what's this all about? Well, we do all sorts here now. So this little thing is just really for the orchid people to let you know what we do here. It's a juice company, e-liquid company. We manufacture all our own liquids. We manufacture net tobaccos, which is naturally extracted tobaccos. We get tobaccos from all over the world, and we convert them into liquids so that people can vape and stop them smoking. We do 3D printing in the shop. We do hydroponics. We sell hardware equipment such as mods, electronic cigarettes, gadgets and stuff like that in this section. As you can see, this picture behind me, we've got Featherstone 3D next door. This place is actually called the Juice Cabin. Life with Les is the new name for the vaping channel, because the vaping channel, I constantly felt like I got two daggers hanging above me. Do you know what I mean? Off YouTube for not wanting people to do vaping videos, and they kept banning it, so I just deleted the bastard. I got sick of waiting for the hammer. Anyway, that's what we do now. We do all this kind of stuff. But I have actually brought some orchids in here today to show you, because a lot of my vaping customers and stuff are also interested in this garden, which is interesting. But some people never even realise that some plants grow on wood, which is, you know, it's one of them things, isn't it? You don't know unless you know. It's like a sheep. A lot of kids that lived in cities and that, I've never seen sheep and real cows and that, other than a steak, which is hard to imagine when you live with, there's lots of fields and things, but when you're in a city, there is no fields, is it? So you wouldn't see sheep and animals and shit like that. So it's quite, you know, even though it's a big world, it's also for some a small world, isn't it, if you like? Toby Lawson, this is a bit dodgy, is that vaccine? I'm a chef by trade, properly looking at returning to work at Christmas as hospitality will be last to be unlocked. That's because it's like gatherings, isn't it? It's awful. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple of plants. And this is really, I brought this one in to show Carl, really, because Carl's never seen plants growing on wood. This is actually a little plant that a friend bought me a couple of years ago, and it were in a little pot. It were in one of these cheap things that you see at garden centres. You know, these garden centres every now and again get a couple of trays of random stuff in. It was one of them. It was only like this big, but look at the flower on it, tiny little flower, look. But it's actually, I don't know if it'll focus that close. Well, it will. Tiny little flowers, look. But this one is one that grows all over the wood, look, Carl. See all the thin roots of it? This is the second year it's flowered. It's been on here for 2 years now. I've no idea what it is. It must be some kind of oncidium or something like that, a miniature thing. But I like miniature ones. So I brought that just because it had got them flowers on it. I thought, I bet he's never seen a flower that size. And then I got a nice, this one's a swine to grow, I'll tell you. This is Dendrobium trigonopus. You see that? Come on, focus. There you go. Look. Dendrobium trigonopus. It's from Burma, Thailand, and China, also known as the column foot dendrobium. But it is a real swine to grow. I mean, this particular plant is probably about 6 years old, something like that. But the smell, now that's knockout. It's really knockout is the smell of it. They last quite a long time as well, these flowers. But I'll tell you what it smells like. You get a nice jar of fresh honey. You know, these jars of honey, and you crack it. And you get your nose in that jar and have a sniff. And you get a really strong smell of honey. But it's got like an acidity to it. The smell is honey with acid, if you like. It's delicious and intoxicating. It's very, very, it's a very piercing smell. Very distinctive. Sniff that all day. Yeah. So that one's Dendrobium trigonopus from Thailand. Like I say, not many people grow it because it is such a swine. You've got to grow it really pretty dry, you know, in winter and that. What else we got here? I've got another one for Carl. This basically shows you it a little bit more advanced than the other one because that one's got thin little roots, hasn't it? This one doesn't have thin little roots. Look at that, how it's grabbed hold of that piece of wood. These are epiphytes, Carl. They're called epiphytes or epiphytic, which basically means they grow on trees. So this would normally be a tree, you know, a branch, or main stem or whatever. And that's how it does, that's how it grows. It grows like that. And you'll notice at the angles it's growing at. You see how it's growing out like that? That's because the flowers on this one come out like this, and they'll sort of dance on the end of a floppy stem, so that they almost fly like star shape. These are beautiful. You've seen photos of this one. Lovely pink, it's mauvey kind of colour, star shaped things, quite big ones as well. But can you see how the roots radiate in all directions? You see it's going up, sideways and down. And that's so it's really anchored, you know, really anchored to that. You'd have to rip that off there to get it off. But this one produces the flowers out at centre. There's actually a little flower spike coming on that one. But when these are in flower, I'll bring them in again to show you, because you can't really tell when you're looking at something like that what it's going to look like. You know, it's just a bunch of leaves, isn't it? So it's better to show you when they're in flower, but there's not much in flower, is it? Now I brought you this one as well. This one came out from a flask. You know, so you have to do flasks, and a flask is basically a bottle of some description. Sometimes it's a jam jar, sometimes it's like a conical flask, sometimes it's like a Tupperware box, and they're basically sealed, but they've got a little filter on top so oxygen can get in, but no viruses and things can get in, no bacteria and stuff, because inside the flask, the material that the plants are growing in, which is like a jelly, it's agar gel, that is completely utterly sterile. Any bacteria or anything that gets in there, gone. And you've got to grow them like that for a long time. Anyway, this one is again, it's probably about 6 years old. You see the difference in size. This one's only just starting to flower like, so it's not going to be showing you at its best, but it will open up a lot more than this. As you can see, there's plenty of buds on it. I'll keep this here, and then you'll be able to see it next week, hopefully, when it's fully open. Now this came in, like I say, as a flask, and it's not what it said on the bottle. Right, this is supposed to be Cattleya amethystoglossum, which it's certainly not. Amethystoglossum's got like speckles on it and stuff, so I've no idea what this is. It just obviously got mislabeled at some point, but it still looks very nice because it has, as a Cattleya, it has this lovely stem, which is a nice length of stem. A lot of time it's right down here, so it's got a nice distance between the leaves and the flowers. And you get a nice little cluster of flowers on it, you see? These are dead easy to grow. And again, can you see how that's creeping out of the pot? This is where it goes. It's like a rhizome. It grows, and another one comes up, then it grows a bit, and then another one comes up. But you can see it's climbing out of the pot. That's the same carry-on, because this is another one that would normally grow on a tree, and it's creeping along the tree, if you like, along the branch. But obviously there's no branch there for it to do. So anyway, that's that one. Covered in plants down here. And then we've got the common one, the one that you see in Asda, Walmart if you're American, stuff like that. This is Phalaenopsis, otherwise known as a moth orchid. Isn't that lovely? Now this one is a hybrid of Amboinensis and Cornel Cervi Red, which sounds like a bit of a mouthful. The red colour that you can see in these flowers, come on, focus baby. Focus baby one more time. There you go. The red that you can see in this comes from Cornel Cervi Red. And the little white, well it's not white, they're actually yellow on this, but the little squiggles that you see would normally be speckles and squiggles, and that's from the Amboinense, right? Now, these are not, you won't get this type in the Asda. You will get this species, genus, which is Phalaenopsis in the Asda, but the ones that you see in Asda and supermarkets have been designed for large flowers, big show. These are not, these are primary crosses. A primary cross is basically a cross between two species, not hybrids. This is a hybrid, but it's a hybrid of two species, which is called primary cross. And that's what you do. That's what it comes out like. But whereas normally when you get one of these moth orchids and it's finished, you would chop the flower stem off, either at a little joint on the way up and it would send out a little branch, or usually what I do is just chop it right off the bottom, well, give the plant a bit of a rest. But with this one, with the species ones, or the primary crosses, you don't do that. This flower stem has been on here for probably 2 years, I think. You see these little marks on way up here, you see this one, and this one, and this one. They're the little scar, if you like, from where previous flowers were on last year. See, so what it does is they'll all drop off, and it'll just look like a green stem, and it will overwinter, and then it'll grow again from tip, right? But as well as that, what happens is that you'll get extra flower stems come in as well as this one. So you'll end up with 2, and then you'll end up with 4, and so on, and it goes like this. So you'll end up with a plant that's got little bald stems on it, but then once or twice a year, those stems erupt into flower. So you'll have a ring of flowers. It's really spectacular, but they take a bit more growing than your normal Asda ones. I've got millions of them. One here that I've got for you that's not an orchid, but I brought it because they're so attractive. These are air plants. These are not actually got any compost at all. I'll just grow these in terracotta pots. But look at that. Isn't that lovely? And I brought this one because it's a particularly short one. A lot of times this type of plant is a lot bigger than this. But this is a really nice small one like that. And this is the flower. Well, it's actually not the flower. They're bracts. The flower is a tiny, tiny little insignificant thing. But once it's flowered, it will die, or start to die. But before it dies, it will send babies out at bottom. You know what I mean? And then they'll come up here, and then you can wreck them off and start again. Very interesting, very easy to grow. Anybody can grow them at house. And all you've got to do is fill it with water, you know, the actual leaf itself. Only 2 more to show you. I know you'll get bored. This is a Phragmipedium. Look at that one. That's a slipper orchid. These are from South America. Lovely, aren't they? Not to be confused with Cypripedium or Paphiopedilum. This is Phragmipedium. You can see the growth. And these grow in rock wool. These are all grown in rock wool. But again, this flower stem has been on here for months. Each one of these that you can see here has been a flower like that. So it just keeps coming and coming. But they've only usually got 1 or 2 flowers on per stem. A lot of the flowers would normally stop on, like a Phalaenopsis. It would keep all these flowers. But with these, this will drop off and then another one will come. And then it'll drop off and then another one will come. And so it's just a different growth habit. And then the last one I'll show you. I brought you this one because it's a little bit unusual. This one is Cattleya intermedia var Aquini, or Aquinii, that's how you like it. And this one is a peloric. It's called peloric. And peloric means this is the lip that you can see here. This bit that I'm touching, that's the flower lip. And if you look at the end of the petals, it's got the same pattern as it's got on the lip. In other words, it's a genetic fault. And whereas normally these petals would be this colour, like a pale colour, on some of them, it's reproduced the pattern that it's got on its lip. Like it's got some of the genes in the wrong spot. So it's grown another lip. It's not actually another lip, it's copied the colour off its lip. How weird that. A little bit of smell, not very strong, and it's this one is Turkish Delight. Very mild Turkish Delight, but without the chocolate, just the jelly bit. I'm on about a fries one. Fries one smell different to the rest. The other fry one coated in chocolate, eliminate the chocolate, the red pinky jelly in the middle. That's what that one smells like. It's gorgeous. And again, this one's about 5-year-old and it's doing the same canning, except it's growing out of the pot, especially because it's trying to grow along a tree. Right, so I'm going to put this down and so I can read some notes because I can't read. Joke. Let's go up here then. No, saffron is a crocus. Afternoon, ladies, really good to see you. Hope you're all well. Yes, I'm Roy, and I hope you are as well, buddy. Saffron is from a crocus. You can actually grow saffrons yourself at home. You can get the bulbs quite readily, and you've got to pick the stamens off. That's the pollen bit. That is the actual saffron. Talon Simpson, paste the Just Giving link in this chat so I can donate to it. That's a good idea. We do this. Banners. How do you do that? Hide. Edit. Copy. Okay. Save. Show that. Comments. Paste. There you go. That's the Just Giving crowdfunding page. Ooh, let's put them up for everybody. Orchid advice. Toby wants some orchid advice. If he wants to send me a photo, yeah, of course you can, Toby. We don't want that one. This is what I do. It's what I used to do a lot for people. Dale Mill, Nathan Drake, funniest thing you've tagged me in ages. Well, I did warn you, it's a mixed program. It's Life with Les now, isn't it, on this? Right, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I actually said to you last week that I was going to do a little video showing you how I use the cutter, the plotter cutter, and the computer to make stickers for windows and doors and stuff. So I pre-recorded that other day for you. I managed to stick it all together. But I will warn you, I think it runs for about half an hour-ish. But I think you'll find it interesting because a lot of people will be interested in it, you know. So I'm going to put it on. And then I had Dion. I'll put it on for you if I can work it out. Demo. If I say Corel. So this is using CorelDraw, which I've used for years, and also the Roland Cut Studio. Let's see if I can do this then. Okay. Right, so today what I'm doing is I'm going to be... What I'm doing is pausing that first. Share screen. Application window. Media player. There you go. Tell me, can you hear anything? Let me know if you've got audio on that. Doing a little sticker. You got it now? For the outside door. Because the shop front is currently closed, we're having couriers cut. And there's several doors on the outside of the building.
So I put a sign on the front saying we look shut, but we're still in. Please use the back door. But what's happening is that people are actually coming to the side door because it's the first door that they come to. So I put a sticker on that one that says, "For the back door, keep going," and an arrow.
Are you getting a picture?
But then there's another door in between the back door and that door. So now they're knocking on the second door. So now I'm going to do another sticker for that door saying, "Just going back door, please keep going."
Let's try it this way. Stop sharing. Share screen. Come on, you bloody thing. Don't you just love it?
And another arrow pointing around corner kind of thing. So what I'm using today is the vinyl cutter. This is the Roland GS24 vinyl cutter. And I'm going to be using just black because it's a white door. And this is perfectly good for what I'm doing. So this is what I'm going to be doing. Now this is 2 feet wide. All right, and this is Avery Dennison, as you can see. Glossy, standard material. Now this is where the cutter, this is the cutter head up here. This is where it goes like this and it draws and it actually cuts a hole. So you've got to thread this through here from the back. Now there's a little roller on the back. Just drop it down like that. Now the thing with this is because the actual vinyl itself is on a roll, when you come to feed it through here, it's still trying to curl down and it starts to curl down into the mechanism, if you like, and it's a real pain in the rectum again. So what I tend to do is I just shove a piece of paper in like that, a piece of cardboard, so that I can thread it over the top. Like that, you see. So now it makes it much easier to get actually through with. So now we've got that in, what we're going to do, you know that there's some white sections on this. And there's a roller here which can move up and down, and there's a roller here which can move up and down. And what you're going to do, you're going to put the roller in one of the white sections, because the roller is actually not just a roller. This head at this end will know where it is, so it knows where the beginning and the end of the paper is, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to roll it up and shove it a little bit. Like that. I'm going to shove that to that end. And I've got this one, I'm going to shove it to this end, like that. So that it's now going to hold that. And now what I've got to do, I've got to push this lever, and that grips it. So we're now ready to roll, if you like. But the first thing I've got to do, once I've got that loaded, I'll have to move the canvas for this. You have to tell it if it's a roll or a piece of paper or an edge. So we can say menu. Right, and we're going to, if you wanted to change it from a roll, I don't know if you can see that, it says roll, you can just go down so it's an edge or it's a piece. So if I've got just an offcut like this kind of size, I don't know if you can see my hands, but if I got an offcut this size, I can put that in and it will measure it and then it will know where it is. But we're going to use a roll because it's on a roll. So we go like that and then we'll press enter and it's going to now measure where it is. So it's done that. So it's now telling me that that is 550 millimeters wide or 557 millimeters wide. It's got no length on it because it's a roll, so it's effectively a non-ending sheet of paper, isn't it? So right now I've got that there. Put this back down here. Now I'm going to, because I don't want it to start up here, so I'm going to shove that back. Like that. Bring it right up to the front edge. And you can also, on this cutter, you can specify the amount of downforce that the knife is going to exert on the actual vinyl itself. Hopefully you can see that. Just going to get a bit closer for you. Like that. Of course, it's all twisted, isn't it? I'll see if I can hold it up. Hopefully that's doing it. So what I'm going to do first, as you can see, if I click force, I'm using 90 grams of force on the knife that's going to cut it. But it might not necessarily be enough to cut through the vinyl without cutting through the paper, because you don't want to cut through the paper that's at the back. You want to cut through just the vinyl and leave an indentation, if you like, in the actual paper itself. So I'm going to push this test button. Move it over here again. I'm going to push that test button and it's going to put a little test cut on this corner. You'll see. Now that's put a little test cut, so I'm going to push it forward. I don't know if you can see it. Just in this corner here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a little tiny cut. I'll get it weeding through. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to weed that out. It's called weeding. So I've got to find it. Let it come out a bit more. There it is. And I've got to try and pick out the circle like that and leave behind a square. Can you see that? I think you can see that, and that's basically what it is. And then what I need to do, see, that's what it's pulled off on my thumb. And then what I've got to do, there's a little tiny cross in the centre of this square, so I've got to weed the outer square off, but without removing the little cross, like that. You see that? So that's the second piece. So we now know we've got the right amount of downforce, because it's allowing me to unpick individual pieces that's been cut. You know what I mean? We had it all coming up at once. So now we know that's right, I can put this back into its position. Slide it that way. So that is now where I'm telling it to start cutting from, and that's called the origin. So I'm now going to push a button on the actual printer itself, or cutter, that says origin. I'm going to push it and hold it. So it now knows that's where we're going to start cutting, down here. The next bit is on the computer. So I'll show you now what we do in, first of all, Roland Cut Studio, and then I'll show you, if you don't want to use that, I'll show you then how you would do it in Photoshop, or in CorelDraw. You could use Photoshop, but we use CorelDraw for this bit. Right, so now we've got the vinyl actually loaded into the cutter itself. What we need to do, we need to set up the Roland Cut Studio, which is what you're looking at now. Across the top, you've got the usual new, open, save, import, cut in, etc., etc. And down the left-hand side, you've got the various tools, pick tools, magnifier, text, etc., etc. The first thing we need to do is we need to tell this program the size of the piece of paper so that we know, as we're looking at it, where it's sitting on that paper. So this is dead easy to do. We're going to cutting setup. We're going to change this here where it says the media size. We're going to change that. And we're going to click get from machine, and it's automatically loaded that information. So like that and like that. And you see that side piece vanish? That's because it's trimmed it. So that is the dimensions of the paper. Now it's not got a particular height because it's a roll, so it's a permanent height if you like, isn't it? But this, what you can see down at this bottom here, that little picture there is an up and a right red arrow and a red spot. If you remember on the cutter we pressed the origin button, that indicates where the origin is on this piece of paper. So let me just put some text up here. So I'll put juice cabin, back, door, round corner. Right, like that. And I'm going to centre this text up just to make it look nice and neat. It says, famous last word. So we go up here and we say format, and we're going to put center like that. I'm also going to change the font from Arial to Arial Black, just because I like it. Now, I've already measured the panel on the window, on the door, sorry, and it's 45 centimeters wide. So I've got 45 centimeters to play with. But you can't really tell on there what size it is. So what you go up to this, up to the top here, and it says size and shape. So we're going to alter that size. The top number is the width, which is below there. The bottom number is the height. So if I change this to 450 millimeters, which is 45 centimeters, you'll notice what happens. Keep your eye on the text. You see? What that actually did is it made the text wider, but it didn't proportionately scale it in height. Let me just undo that to give you a bit more dramatic idea. If I do the height and put that at 150, you'll see what happens. You see, it stretched it right out. And that's because you need to tick this box here which says keep aspect ratio. If you tick that, it means it proportionately scales it. So we can put this back now to 450 millimeters. Now what's the text? You see, scaled it. Now if I go to the top here, you see this button here? That is the same little picture that you've got down in this corner. So if I click that, it will move it to the origin, just like that. So it's using the minimum amount of material that it can. Now I personally don't like to go right to the bottom, just in case there's a wavy line. So I like to come up a little bit like that. I mean, it's nickels and dimes, right? But I also want an arrow on the end of that, so I'll leave a space for an arrow. Now then, because this particular sign is going onto an external door, or it could be a wall, or it could be a fridge, or anything that's got a flat surface where you look at it from the same side as the sticker, we don't need to reverse this. But if it were going on a glass window, like a shop window, or a car windscreen, or something like that, where you're looking at it from the other side, you would need to reverse this. So we would go object and mirror, you see, and that's what so it flicked the text round, so it's backwards. So when we cut it out, stick it on the inside of the glass. From the outside, it looks right. But we can bypass that bit because we're going to be sticking it on a solid door. So we'll leave it at that. Now the outside line that you can see, the black line, that is actually what the cutter is going to cut. It's going to follow that line. So if I go import and I get the little arrow and I can put it in there. Now you can see that arrow is grey. If I just try to cut it like that, let me just shrink it down a little bit. I'm going to make it, I don't know, we've got the height here. We're going to say 70. Like that. So that will go there like that. Just get rid of that. Can't get to the bottom. Like that. Move it up a little bit more, maybe. Like that. Like that. So that's about it, isn't it? So if I tried to cut that now, what would happen is it would cut the text, but it wouldn't cut the arrow. And that's because if you look closely, you'll see that the arrow hasn't got an outside edge, right? So we need to tell it that it's actually something we want to cut. So we need to right click on it, and we go image outline. And as you can see here, we've got a sliding scale, so you can adjust it so that it's nice. And if you go too far, what will happen is it will get all ragged. So you want to go somewhere here until it looks nice and neat, and then you tell it to extract the contour line. Right, so it can go, okay. And now we've actually got, get rid of that. We've actually got an outer line, you see? So I can get rid of that now, the actual image. So that is now what it's going to cut. See if I can make that a little bit narrower. You can actually just use this drag button if you want. So I'm going to put that there, that's about it, about there. So that is actually what we're going to cut. We're going to cut all of that, so we can grab all of that. I'm going to move it down so it's in a reasonable position, so I'm not wasting too much. like that. So that's basically this little bit done. All we need to do now with this is say file, print, and just cut in like that. Now, it's a really complicated program, is this, if you want it to be, because you can have different things in different colours. Can you see this section here? You can actually specify that the juice having words are the grey bits, and let's say, in fact, let me just change it. I do that, and then I'm going to give it a colour. I'm going to change it to red. You see that's changed to red? So now when we go to the cutting area, you can see now we've got two colours here. So I can tell it to only print the black, like that. As you can see on the right hand side, there's no arrow. Or I can tell it to do both, like that. So it's now printing both. I'm going to cut both the words and the arrow. So that's about it really for that. Up here is overlap cutting. If you're using a really thick material and you need to go over it several times, it will actually do that. It will actually do it up to 10 times. So you can cut over the same area 10 times just to get through thicker material. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to now show you it coming out of the printer, out of the cutter. Once I click this, it'll start printing pretty much straight away. Right, so here we are at the cutter. We've already got it set up. We've already established that we've got its origin. We've already established that we've got the right cutting force. We've got it set so it knows where it is, and we're ready to print. So if I click cut or print or whatever, it will immediately start cutting. And that's it, finished. Easy as that, really. So what I can do now, I hit menu on the actual cutter and press it again and click unsettle, which is enter, and it will come back to the beginning again. And now release this lever, which is holding it down, pull a bit through, and just get the scissors. I'm just going to get the scissors and cut this off. It would be nice if there were a facility on this printer to actually cut this off for you, but there isn't. So if I just pull that out to there and find the top, you won't be able to see this on it because obviously it's black against black, but I can see that that's the top. And then I'm just going to basically cut it off. So that's what we've got. Now you can't see out on there yet, but you will do in a sec, because I'm going to take it over to the area where I'll do the weeding and the trimming and that, and then I'll show you what we do then. Right, so here we are at the trimming station, and I'm just going to trim the edges off just to make it a little bit more manageable. Slide into the trimmer, check it off. Same at the other side. It goes up to there, look. So it starts at about there. That's good enough. I'll take a bit off at the bottom. It's a bit difficult to see when you've got black on, well, any colour really, when it's you can't see the outline. But that is actually now our sign, but you can't see it. So what I've got to do now is I've got to pick off the excess plastic or vinyl. What we do with that is we just literally peel it back You've got to do it fairly steady. And this is where getting the right cutting force is important, because as you can see, they come off fairly easy, but only if you've cut right through it without cutting through the paper. See that back letter there? You can't see it, but if I flick it like that, you see? Not quite come off that one, so you've got to keep your eye on that as you're going. It's easy to fix, like, you just push it back. Get that out. You can't just rip it off, because you can guarantee that you're going to leave or lose some letters. Just take a bit of time on doing this. Put that back. There you go, like that. No, it doesn't quite look right, does it? This is waste material, by the way. Just get rid of that. Stick it there for now. What we've got to do now, as you can see, we've still got the little middles of anything that's got a empty centre, so we've got to pick them out now. Which is not a difficult task. It's just a pain. So we'll do this. You get little bits of sticker everywhere as well. So a bit on everything, you know. And then you start wiping it on stuff. I don't like that one. Just get rid of it. Okay, do. Few more bits. It's actually quite a therapeutic thing to do, is this. A bit like a blackheading video. Somebody wants you. Right. So that's what it says. Right, and we know that the arrow is pointing in the right direction because we're not doing that way. But you're not quite finished yet, because if you wanted to put that on the door now, you'd have to pick all these letters off individual, which is not practical, right, is it? So what you do, you need some transfer tape. You've got different widths of this. That'll cover that nicely. So what we do is peel some of this off. To be an appropriate length, like so. And then we stick it in here. Somebody wants me. Like that. And then we've got to squeegee it on. And then I can get rid of the excess, cut it off. And that is now our sticker. I'm going to give it another squeeze in. And that's to make sure that it actually sticks to the transfer material. Now you can, if you want, give it another little trim to get rid of all that raggy extra. Like that. If you don't want it sticking to your fingers every 2 seconds. Like that. So that is now our finished sticker, or decal, if you like. And what we need to do with this, when we're ready to stick it on, which I'll show you, you need to peel this off again, the stuff that we just stuck on, and it will bring the letters with it. You see? It brings the letters with it, and this bit you throw away, the white bit. So that's the actual sticker itself done. So I'll now go back and show you how we do the same trick in CorelDraw, but I'm not going to cut it because that bit's the same. It's just actual CorelDraw is slightly different. So I'll do that now. Right, so as you can see, we're now in CorelDraw, and what I'm going to be doing is basically the same thing as what we've just done it in the Roland Cut Studio. CorelDraw is almost the same kind of thing as Roland Cut Studio, except the Cut Studio is a much more cut down version. In CorelDraw, the facilities are so advanced it's quite ridiculous, but you've got the same things across the top: new document, open, import, export, blah blah, and down the left hand side you've got the various tools. So the first thing we need to do is tell it which printer we're going to be using. It refers to it as a printer. Well, actually, that's the second thing. First thing we need a piece of paper. Doesn't really matter at this point what size that paper is that you specify, because we're going to be getting it to get that information from the printer shortly. So we'll go like that, and then we're going to say File, Printer Setup. Where is it? Can't see it. Now we've got to put something on first, like that. We've got to print. Well, we're not actually going to print, and as you can see at the minute, it's on our normal laser printer. So we need to change that to the 7710 series. No, we don't. We want to change it to the Roland GS24. There it is. We say OK, apply. Alright, and then I can click cancel. Once I've clicked apply, I can click cancel. Then we can delete that. So in the file, layout, page size, and then it's going to get it from the cutter. Like that. You see how it did that automatic again? Exactly the same way as Cut Studio did. But you've got to set the printer up to tell Corel that that's the one that you're going to be using before you do that, otherwise it'll just revert to A4. So we'll go like that, and we'll shrink it back down. I think. Yeah, that's the same basic format as you had on the Cut Studio, isn't it? So here it's the same thing. You would say juice, cabin, back, door, round, corner. I can't remember what I put in. I'll do. So let's just zoom into that a little bit so you can see it. Let's select it all, make it aerial. Where's it gone? Aerial. Can't find it. Black. So that's the same as we've just done before. Again, we're going to center it like that. Now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this corner like this. Now, if you can see up here, this section here that I'm circling, that is the size of that lettering. So we can just quite simply drag it until it says 450 in the top box. So that's pretty much the same thing as what we've just done in that cut tutorial, isn't it? And then we would drag, import that arrow, stick it there, like so. And that's pretty much the same thing, isn't it? Again, you would reverse it if you wanted to have it in a window. And what you do that and you click group. And then at the top, we've got scale and mirror, not mail and scale and mirror. Do that. Whoop, and it does the same thing. Look. It's exactly the same. But obviously we don't do that. So now what you would do is the same as what we did before. You would say print, because it considers the cutter to be a printer. We're going to the Roland GX24, and it's telling you it's going to print it there. And if I click print, it won't do it all again. But I'm not going to do that because I've already done it like that. So that's basically how you use those two programs to accomplish the same simple task. So this is not an advanced class. This is a basic simple task. You just wanted a straightforward sticker, either for a window, in which case you flip it, or for a solid wall, doors, something like that, in which case you leave it the same way around as you can see. And that's as simple as it gets. So all I'm going to do now is show you how we actually fit the sticker to the door. So I'm going to go and do that now for you. Right, so here's the outside door. And the first thing I'm going to do is just give it a clean, because you don't want to be putting a sticker onto a dirty surface. Right, so I'm just going to use some basic alcohol. Just to wipe off this rubbish. We're going to be sticking it about it. Not really important. And this is just removing any oil or grease or anything that might stop it from sticking, as you can see. Just crack on that. Like so. And then we'll just check the vinyl before we actually start putting it in. So that's where it's going to go, like that. Alright, so before I actually start sticking, I'm just going to give it one more quick squeegee. Squeegee door, isn't it? And again, what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that the sticker actually sticks to the backing. So we'll get rid of the paper backing. I'll have to stand it so that you can see. That's a squeaky door. So we're peeling this off now carefully, because sometimes the letter's not quite unstuck. And end up with a blank piece of rubbish. Right, so that's been good. Now we want our sticker. So if you're really particular, you could measure it, but I'm just going to do it by eye. It's close enough. That's about level. But be careful with the wind. The wind will make it stick. Like that. Alright. And now we need the squeegee again. This time what we're doing is squeezing it to make the sticker stick to the white door. Previously we were using this to make the sticker stick to the clear stuff. Now we're making it stick to the door. This is external vinyl, so the weather won't affect it. And it will last probably anything up to 5 years, I think, this stuff. Although it is easy to remove as well. So now we grab the clear material, the backing tape, and be careful to start to peel it off. You don't just want to rip it off, because you can guarantee that one of the stickers is going to stick to it. Like that. As they say in France, you switch the finger over. I'm not going to read for that time. And that's it. That's as simple as it gets. Easy, easy, lemon squeeze. Off we go. We're done.
And there you go. Back again. Made by a lighthouse. Pavison is made by a lighthouse. It's a nice little thing, is that it does everything I want. I've basically got that machine to do the stickers for the shop window, which is fabulous. But I do all sorts of stuff for people. In fact, as you can see, I've been blinging. That's a right glittery thing, isn't it? Let me have a slurp of coffee. Chin chin. Oh, I've got a little bit of noisette grillée in that, otherwise known as toasted hazelnuts. Rant corner. So these are the things that we get up to here at Juice Cabin. They do all sorts of stuff, as you can see, stickers and things as well. So I think next week, if you want me to, if you don't want me to, I'll not bother, but if you want me to, what I'll do is I'll show you how I do the stickers for shirts. These are vinyls in the same way as them vinyls, but these are vinyls that are made for clothing, so there's a bit of stretch in them. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? Well, mate. Hope you're settling down. Boss. It's lovely stuff. This all glitters like broken glass. So anyway, yeah, what I'll do next week is I'll show you how I'm doing the stickers for shirts and stuff, because it's a different thing, because then we have to press it with a giant heat press. I think I showed you the mugs last week, didn't I? Well, this is a slightly different process. Same process as we do with caps, but with caps you need a different shape of thing. But I'll do all that anyway. Now then, the orchid people will be wanting to know what on earth I've tagged them in this post for. Well, as I've been telling my existing subscribers, what we're going to be doing, because this place is also Featherstone Hydroponics. So we've got some peppers on the grow at the minute in a tent in here, which I'll show you on my phone in a second if I can. But what I'm going to be doing over the next, well, as soon as I can possibly do it, it's very odd at the minute and difficult because we're all in isolation from each other, aren't we? But what the intention is I'm going to be setting up another tent in the shop that's really intended for people who have not got a greenhouse but want to grow orchids, but you can't really grow them in your house or your flat because the environment's wrong. It's too dry often because of central heating and stuff like that. But what you can do is you can use a hydroponics tent. Now, you don't need all the water system and stuff like that. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting it up with staging in there, tiered staging. And I'm going to be using the Featherstone 3D, Fev 3D part of the operation here to producing little knuckles so that we can fix pipes together. And that's going to form the skeleton of the actual staging itself. And the lighting is also going to be in there. So this setup is really for people that want to grow orchids and put in a block of flats and stuff like that. It's just not practical. There's absolutely no reason why you can't do this in a tent. And by growing it in a tent, you can actually maintain the environment in that tent specific to what you're growing, because you can adjust the lighting, you can adjust the number of hours lighting that you have in a day, you can adjust the temperature in your tent by using a fan. You can change the humidity levels in there. So it's a really, really good way of growing orchids in a proper environment using artificial lights in a way that people don't usually do, because usually you have a greenhouse, and otherwise they're a windowsill, aren't they? But if they're on windowsill, there's no way you could grow some of these things, because it's just not going to happen. So in order to grow some of the fancier stuff and the smaller stuff, which dry out quick, you need to be able to control that environment. So that's why I've tagged you in this, because that's what's coming up. I mean, you already know that I've grown orchids since I was about 12. So we're looking at what, 40 odd year, nearly 50 frigging year. So I've plenty of experience with it, but I specialize in the small stuff. Basically, because you start off, when you first start off, you want big things, and that's full of cymbidiums, and then what you'll soon realize is that you basically got a greenhouse full of leaves, and you don't hardly get it off them. Whereas if you grow something like this, it's not going to take up a right lot of space, is it? I mean, I've got a lot of stuff way smaller than this, but it doesn't take up a lot of space. Bearing in mind that's like, what, 6 years old, and you get this fantastic odor which comes out of this. But of course, when it's in flower, there's no reason for that period while it's in flower and fragrant that you can't put that in your living room. and it'll obviously fill the environment with its fragrance, and you'll be able to see it, and guests and things will be able to see it. And then when it's finished, you put it back in your tent to grow it again. So that's why you're tagged into this post, because that's what we also sell here. We sell all the equipment for the tents and stuff, and I think it might be really interesting for you. Yes, Mark Trebron is much better. Thank God for that. Does anybody want to ask me any questions? Well, you've got me. If incidentally you want to ask me any questions about orchids and stuff like that, feel free to drop me an email. It's lespicking@hotmail.com. Picking as in like picking your nose, but without the G. Should say picking strawberries, really, shouldn't I? But it's lespicking@hotmail.com. Just drop us an email and I'll do my best to do it for you. If you're wanting anything printing like t-shirts or cups, or because I did some nice cups with lots of orchids on and stuff. We've got coasters and all this kind of stuff. I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures of orchids, so I've probably got what you're looking for. We can do that on stuff. That's not a problem. So we do pretty much everything you want here, apart from tap dance. I'm not really good at tap dancing. A little bit too club-footed. I'm going to pull on this. That's Tabilla. Right, for those of you who are into your net tobaccos, that's NET, naturally extracted tobaccos, there's some great news on the way for you, because we've just had all our list of tobacco flavors, if you like, updated, and we've now got another 30 or so varieties coming in. So we'll have the largest variety of pure 100% naturally extracted tobaccos on earth, right? All available right here from Juice Cabin, manufactured right here in Juice Cabin in Featherstone. And for those of you who don't know what naturally extracted tobacco is, basically we get tobacco leaves from around the world, from Colombia, Ecuador, you know, from Europe, all around the world, all different types of tobacco. And I make a liquid preparation from it. It's effectively like brewing tea, but cold. And it takes a year or so, or 9 months to a year, to fully get all the flavour from the leaves into the liquid. And the liquid in our case is propylene glycol, PG. So it basically creates a tea, and out of that liquid we then make e-liquids for vaping. And each individual liquid is specific to one type of leaf. So it's not like a blend of different types. We do blends, but they're not just random blends. They're blends that I've put some thought into. For example, if you wanted a Havana cigar, let's say you wanted a nice Cuban cigar, well, you're not going to be able to buy it really. I mean, Cuba is more open than it used to be, but it's certainly not free market, if you like. So, but what we can do is we get the tobacco leaves that are grown next door in the next island, if you like. So, Dominican Republic, for example. So we get the tobacco leaves from the Dominican Republic, different types. And then I will create a cigar from that range. So, for example, you might fancy 2 or 3 different types of filler inside, and then perhaps a nice binder, which is a different type of tobacco, finished with a Havana leaf on the outside. So you can imagine that cigar. This is what a cigar would be like if you were making cigars. You remember I made a cigar for you the other week and showed you that process. Actually, I don't know if I showed you the process. I should have just showed you the cigar at the end. Might have just shown you the cigar at the end. But basically, I can recreate those leaves that you would find in that cigar, and then that is then steeped for a year, brewed effectively for a year, and the liquid that comes out of it is the flavour of the tobacco leaves that went in. Now, people get a little bit confused about this as well, because they say, "Oh, what have you got that's like a Golden Virginia smoked?" Well, of course, they're not. The act of smoking a cigar or any tobacco, the act of smoking it, obviously you're igniting it, and you're igniting it to get the smoke, which is bringing with it the nicotine. But it also imparts a flavour, the flavour of the burnt leaf. Now, with a naturally extracted tobacco. You don't get that because there is no ignition involved. What you actually get is the flavour of the smell of the leaf. So it's like a herbal. What I try and explain to people is if you've been out on a autumn's day when it's been warm, perhaps it's been raining or it's been a little bit misty or something like that, and you can smell the damp, sweet, fresh hay that's just been cut. You know that lovely sweet smell it's got? That is what these taste like. But each one is slightly different because it's a different type of leaf. And the leaf flavour is determined by the climate, the environment in the soil, how often it's watered. There's lots and lots of different things that affect the flavours of the leaf, whether it's picked low down the plant, high up the plant, first picking, second picking, etc., etc. There's a lot of variables to it. But with these, because they're individual nets, what we can do, or what you can do, you can say, right, I'm going to create my own cigar. So I want a Havana Prime wrapper, so we can sell you the Havana Prime wrapper net. And then you might want some Ligero Piloto inside, so we can provide you with that. And then you can blend it like that. You can build it up, so you'll have like 4 or 5 different tobacco leaves in a net, which you can produce yourself from our concentrates. I mean, like I say, we do pre-blended ones as well. Like I've got one called Kennedy, which I named after President Kennedy. President Kennedy loved his Havana cigars, and he also loved coffee. So this particular one, Kennedy, is an amalgam of fine cigar flavour and naturally extracted coffee flavour as well, which is like the Colombian Gold. So it's a fusion of the two, and we do that in a lot of different things. So there's a lot of stuff that you can play with that, and I'll be doing some videos on just that subject of mixing the individual nets together to produce a specific type of cigar, let's say. Of course, they're not all cigar. We do pipe ones, we do cigarette ones, and all this kind of stuff. But they don't taste like the smoked cigar or cigarette. They taste like you just opened the packet and smelt it. That's the essence of what you're getting in this. But it's a natural sweetness to it. There's absolutely nothing in our natural extracted tobaccos, juices, at all. The only thing that goes in it is propylene glycol and leaves, and that's it. That's our flavour it. To which then we add vegetable glycerin, which is usually about 70% of the mix, and that's it. There's nothing else in there. Is no artificial flavourings of any kind. And also, we've just had the nets tested for the nitrosomes or nitrosymes, which is a chemical that comes out of tobacco leaf naturally, and the juices have passed. So we're well below the legal limits by a factor of about 6. So it's negligible. So that's really good news. So that can all be marketed out 100% safe, which is fabulous. It's really good. So that's really about it for today's video. I've not had a chance to invite people onto this one because I've had that much to say, and my mouth goes up and down and up and down and up and down, and I've been on an hour and a half now. Anyway, if there's no questions coming in, John Fox is saying hopefully they come straight through this time with it being quiet. He's on about the tobacco leaves, because to get the tobacco leaves, the raw tobacco leaves into the UK is not just a matter of ordering them. You've got to go through hoop after hoop after hoop with the government, because it's all to do with the Home Office. You've got to be vetted. You have your background vetted. You have your personal life vetted. You have your banking details. Everything is vetted. Because they're all a little bit obsessed about you selling the tobacco, because we don't sell tobacco. But once we've used the tobacco and it's no longer even in a smokable form, even then we've got to destroy it. We've got to keep a record and stuff. So it's very, very tightly controlled. Is raw tobacco leaf. So it does take a long time for it all to come through customs and that. And at one time they lost a batch. I mean, these things come to try us. That's what my granddad said. Well, it's better than telly. There's no telly, is there? Let's face it, they're all repeats. And we can't go out anywhere. Yeah, I would love to go out flying my drone in this weather, but it's a little bit too bright for me because it makes my eyes run like a sausage. So yeah, I'm going to have to wait for tea time really. But in the UK, I don't know what it's like in America, but in the UK, you're not allowed to fly your drone if you can't see it. Do you know what I mean? Even though the drone is capable of going 4 miles, you can only fly it so that you can see it. If it's out of sight, it's illegal. So it's a little bit dodgy in that respect. Yeah, but it's licensed anyway. I've passed my test. Anybody got any questions? You've got last about 30 seconds left. And I finally got my charge. One final pull for you. Or not. Tability. Absolutely divine. Hiya, Grant. You're late to the show. Grant is looking good, old chap. I say, old boy. Looking rather blingy. Right, well, I'm going to love you and leave you because I've got a customer coming very shortly for his juice. I've got to go and make that. Yeah, anyway, leave some comments in the description of the video. If you're on YouTube, leave some comments as well, because most people don't leave comments on YouTube. They leave them on Facebook, just to show that there's a bit of movement, really. And for the orchid people, I will be tagging you in this video every week. It's only on a Saturday at 12:30. I'll try and bring some orchid stuff into it, but obviously if you want me to put something specific in, if you tell me what you want me to put it in, I'll try and incorporate it into a following week. You know, we have actually got an ISO class 7 clean room here, so there's the potential that I can do some kind of propagating videos or something like that in the clean room, because it's much bigger. You remember on the other videos I had, we had a laminar flow. I did it all in a small laminar flow cabinet, which I've still got. But now we've got a room-sized clean room upstairs, which all the internal of it is all sterile. So we can do some really magical things in there if you want. Grant says stability is better than sex. Depends if you've been shagging, really, doesn't it? And besides, that neck hole is only that big. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you. You take care. Don't forget, give us some money at Just Giving if you can, and I will print some more of these. They cost me about $5 a piece to produce, and that's, you know, I'm not selling these to the medical people, and that they're free of charge to them. This GoFundMe money, no, Just Giving money, is what's paying for the plastic material, the visor material, and the band that's not actually come yet. The timing that is free. It'd be lovely to see you. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channels if you can. In the meantime, again, don't forget, leave us some notes about what you want incorporated into these videos, and I'll try and do it for you. Otherwise, I'm just going to end up, you know, just kind of flopping around like a fish, just giving it this. There's no wrong. Ta-ta for now.